Hi, I'm Mark Mazzaferro, Public Information Officer for the City of Vacaville, and this is another episode of What's the Plan with Community Development Director Barton Brierley. Barton, thank you for taking some time out of your day.
It's good to be here.
Glad to have you. You do a lot of things down in your office, and one of the things you guys take care of are home occupation permits.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, are people really allowed to conduct business out of their homes here in Vacaville?
You actually can in some limited areas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually some advantages to that. You can start up a business. The city likes to encourage business. This is a good way to get your foot in the door, try something out. It also has some advantages that you aren't commuting back and forth, so there isn't a lot of traffic on the road and you're not adding pollution to the air. So it's actually a good thing.
So what kind of home occupations are allowed and what kind of businesses aren't allowed in your home?
Well, as a general rule of thumb, if you're operating your home business and your neighbors don't know you're doing it, you're probably complying with the rules. Mm-hmm. If you are getting complaints from the neighbors about noise and traffic and other things, you're probably in violation. Mm-hmm. So we have two different kinds of home occupation permits. A type 1 are the kinds that really don't have much impact on the neighbors. You're doing a mail order business, or you do small home crafts that you sell at a craft fair, or you're doing bookkeeping out of your home. Those sorts of things are type 1 permits, and those are pretty easy to issue. Then we have type 2s, which could have more impacts on the neighborhoods, things like if you have a construction company, or you have a janitorial business, or you do woodworking or metalworking out of your house. Those things we call type 2s, and those require notice to the neighbors and more of a process.
All right, so notice to the neighbors, and maybe a neighbor says, I'm not happy with that. Does that mean I can't do it? Or?
Well, we take into account the neighbors' comments, and if they're valid, we address them, and if there's something that we can do to make a condition or let the person who wants to operate it know that they need to follow certain rules.
Okay. Here's it for instance. For instance, I'm a piano teacher or a musician and I teach private lessons in my home. Am I going to need a permit?
You actually do, and you'll be limited to having one student at your house at one time. Because that could potentially, if you have a lot of people coming, making a lot of noise, that could have impacts on the neighborhood, but you can do it and you would need a permit.
So I can't teach band class at my house and have 30 people come over. Huh?
That's right.
That's going to get me in trouble.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. So do you need to have a permit to have a home occupation?
You do. There's a home occupation permit. You can apply for one at the Community Development Office. It's $95. And again, if you're a type 1, we can usually issue those over the counter. If it's type 2 business, then we have to do the notice process. But again, you just apply for that through the Community Development Office. And you also need a business license. A business license is an annual thing, and the fee is based on the type of business. And there's actually a discount if you're operating out of your home.
Right, good deal. All right, my kids have come up to me and said, Dad, I want to run a business out of my house. Do my kids need a permit too?
Usually they don't. There's exemptions if you're 16 and under and making less than $1,000 a year, and any business out of a home making less than $1,000 a year doesn't require permits. So a lot of those, little entrepreneurial projects you can get away with.
Yeah, $1,000 though, that's not a lot. I mean, if this is your dream business and you're only doing $1,000 a year or less, adult or child,
Yeah, it's just for little small things. If you have a few crafts you sell a year, or your kid wants to run a lemonade stand or things like that, you don't need.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not out there busting kids with lemonade stands.
No.
That was my next question. Wow, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
All right, so how about garage sales? Do I need a permit to have a garage sale?
You don't need a permit. You are limited to 2 garage sales a year, up to 3 days each. And it's really intended to not become a retail business. You're not allowed to do a retail business as a home occupation. Right. So the people who have garage sales every weekend where they're constantly bringing in stuff, that really should be in a commercial area,
that's not a home
store.
I guess that's a home occupation, but taken the wrong way. Now the zoning doesn't work, none of that works. That's the idea of living as a residential neighborhood versus a retail district, right?
Right.
That's why we have all the zoning rules.
That's exactly right, yes.
Prevent something like that. And Lord knows I've seen it in other communities I've worked and lived in where people do that. They have a garage sale every other week or
Yes.
once a month, and you want to go over to them and say, this is a business. This isn't I'm moving or whatever. And what happens when we find out people are doing that? Who takes care of that?
Well, if people have complaints, we do have a code and compliance division that can investigate. You can contact our office and we can investigate it. We also can let the code compliance division know. We actually have an online complaint form if people want to fill that out. And we'll go investigate and see if there's a violation. And if there is, we'll work with the people to correct it.
Do you have any idea how many home occupation businesses there are in Vacaville?
There are hundreds. We do hundreds of permits. We have a big stack of permits over the years in the office, so there's actually quite a few of them.
Well, it's funny, you go through our business license list, and I think there's like 17 or 18,000 business licenses on that list, and I may be off. Don't. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But if you look through, a lot of them are home businesses. It's
Yes.
Bob's Accounting or Sue's House Cleaning, or they list their home as their business address, but they don't work there, or they just do the accounting there and they go out and do their thing somewhere else. Or like you said, they make crafts and sell them at farmers markets or craft fairs.
Yes.
and stuff like that. So I would even guess that a majority of our business licenses might be home occupation type businesses.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people, that's a good way to make a second income or even a primary income. It's a good way to earn a little bit of money and use your home and
Or to dip your toe in the waters, so to
Yes.
speak, and see, hey, is this something I really want to do? Am I going to make a go of this? Or what better way to find out than to actually try it?
yes.
All right, so let's say people have questions about, home occupations, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Who should they call?
They can call the community development office in City Hall. They can stop by, they can call us, or they can go to the website, www.cityofvacaville.com, and we'd be happy to answer their questions.
Good deal. Anything else you want to add about home occupations or what's happening in community development?
Well, there's some home occupations that you can't do. You can't do auto repair. That's one a lot of people want to do, and we've never allowed that as a home occupation. And really, any of those that make a lot of noise or disturb the neighbors, you can't do retail businesses out of your home. So really, those things that would disturb your neighbor. Again, back to that general rule of thumb, if the neighbors don't know you're doing it, you're probably complying, and if they are complaining about it, there's probably a violation.
And there's a problem, right?
Yes.
Well, anything else?
Just things are going great in Vacaville. Things are looking up, and it's a good place to work and good place to do business.
Excellent. Well, Barton, thanks for taking a little time out of your day and explaining this. Remember, if you have any questions about home occupations or anything else planning or community development related, stop by the community development office here at City Hall or give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And thanks for watching.